Hello everyone, I am Surrendalot Reviews, and I'm back, and I'm ready to look at some more Generation 1 Transformers. But before I get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if I can't convince you, perhaps this picture of my cats will convince you. And, random fact about my cat society is that they have decided to elect Darth Maul as their Secretary of Not Getting Revenge. But, without further ado, let's get into this. So, the first episode we're gonna look at is Autobop, where the Autobots have to investigate a suspicious dancing club. Without further ado, let's get into this. So, the episode starts out with Raoul and his friends trying to start their own little dance club right across the street from Dancitron, but unfortunately there's this gang of rather unusual people who are trying to put a stop to them, and so they have to run away. But luckily, Blaster and Trax are there to help them out, and also Trax figures out that there is a rather unusual hiring policy with this gang. And so, Trax and Blaster decide to go investigate Dancitron, but find nothing too suspicious, and we learn that the Decepticons are also somehow behind this Dancitron place. I mean, good on you, Megatron, for finally going into something that's probably a little more profitable for you, and a little more legitimate. And meanwhile, Raoul and his friends are on board of a train where the conductor sabotages the train, and so Trax and Blaster have to go save them. And they decide this time to perhaps go investigate Dancitron a little more thoroughly this time. And so, Raoul's friends decide to go investigate Dancitron, because they got invites from Dancitron, and Trax also goes to investigate Dancitron, but he ends up finding out that the Decepticons are in fact behind it, and he gets captured by them. But luckily, Blaster is coming to investigate Dancitron, and he warns Raoul that there might be some hypnosis involved, and Raoul finds his friends. But his friends are unfortunately hypnotized, and he also finds Trax. And he also finds out that water actually ends up breaking the spell. So he and his friends end up actually activating the sprinklers. Meanwhile, Blaster tries to tell the Decepticons that Dancitron's under slightly new management. But luckily, Raoul and friends manage to free Trax. And so, Trax is off to go pursue Starscream, and in the process, he creates a cloud that creates some rain that basically breaks the hypnosis on those builders. And meanwhile, Blaster has a really cool duel with Soundwave, which I'm just gonna show you because it's just that cool.
I've been waiting a long time for this. You poor excuse for a sound system. All talk, no shock. I need some extra punch, and here's the punch I need. I'd say your nightclub just went out of style.
And so, Trax manages to outmaneuver Starscream, and, well, Blaster and Trax manage to destroy a massive building that the Decepticons were building for some reason, and Trax ends up repaying Raoul and his friends by basically having Blaster help them with their little dance club, so that they can make enough money for their new boombox, and the episode ends. And overall, I will say that Autobop is probably one of the most underrated episodes in the entire series. I mean, I like how we get to see Trax again, and his partner Blaster, and I also like how we get to see Raoul and his friends. And I also like the concept of how Megatron, basically the Decepticons, are kind of operating this dance club that's all hip and trendy, but is really used to hypnotize people. And I also like how this is the first time we ever get to see Blaster and Soundwave duke it out. I mean, Seriously, that was probably one of the best fight scenes in the entire series, bar none. And I think with that, on to the next episode, which is a Prime target, where Prime is basically getting hunted in basically a big game. Without further ado, let's get into this. So, the episode starts out with an experimental jet in the Soviet Union being captured by a mysterious submarine. And that mysterious submarine is owned by this person named Lord Chumley, who is basically a big game hunter, who is right now looking to possibly add the head of Optimus Prime to his massive collection. But unfortunately, with that fighter jet being stolen, that has made it so that US-Soviet relations have kind of hit a bit of a bad spot right now. And also, Trax and Bumblebee get captured by Lord Chumley with this really stupidly clever trap here.
Dead end! Very dead. Please do not force me to resort to violence. What? Holograms. I hope that truck is a hologram. I suspect we've been lured into a... Get help!
Anyways, so Optimus Prime also finds out about this possible increase in tensions in the Cold War, and he decides to go investigate. And he also finds out that Trax and Bumblebee are still missing, and in the process of also going and finding them, the Autobots are systematically picked off one by Lord Chumley, and I'm just gonna show you the scene here because it's pretty great.
I've seen every car wash, shower head, and garden hose in this city, but no sign of Trax or Bumblebee. Hey, where'd that come from? Hey there, don't get pushy.
I say, this is ripping!
Hey, don't be greedy. I'm not giving you 1 penny more than... Let go of me!
Hey, you up there! I'm looking for some friends of mine!
Well, by Jove, you shall see your friends sooner than you think.
Hey! Who designed this rat trap?
How perceptive!
Prime, this is Blaster blasting at you from Billboard Row. Nothing funny going on here, but stay tuned. Hey! Hands off! Don't touch that dial!
A little traveling music, Dinsmore.
Inferno to the rescue! Lie down, kid, until I get there! Didn't you hear me? What the? Prime, this is Inferno! I've been suckered into...
Amazing.
What's that, sir?
I don't believe I've ever seen a species so unafraid of fire.
Okay, as ridiculous as half of these traps are, I can't help but just love all of them. I mean, they're just so ridiculous you can't help but love them. Anyways, So, the Autobots get a message from this hunter named Lord Chumley, and he tells Optimus Prime to please come to his palace so that way he can get his head. And Megatron also has an interest in Lord Chumley and sends the Triple Changers to go get him, because, you know, Lord Chumley's way better at his job than he is. And so Optimus Prime manages to arrive at Lord Chumley's castle, and after dealing with the monster in a net, we get to this part, which I really like.
Go on! Save her! Save her! I say, that's not quite cricket, is it, sir? All's fair in love and big game hunting.
Not today, Chumley. Not today.
Drat! Outsmarted by a lorry! I am disgraced!
Why didn't Optimus Prime save her? Unless...
Stop your crying.
Let's wait. No, it's...
Astro Train, help!
Where did he come from? That blasted fool?
You blasted fool! Hang on!
Amazing. A booby trap that actually catches boobies.
Anyways, so Optimus Prime has to deal with this Scorpion, and right as he is about to win, Astro Train comes in and defeats Optimus Prime. And Lord Chumley gets a little upset at him and actually captures Astro Train instead. But luckily, Optimus Prime is not completely down, because Bumblebee radios him and asks for help. And with Optimus Prime back online, the hunt is still on, and Lord Chumley ends up losing spectacularly because his Black Widow got destroyed, and also he tries to free the Decepticons, but they try to go after him, but luckily the Autobots are free, and Optimus Prime captures Lord Chumley, and he also sends him with the fighter jet back to the Soviet Union, and the episode ends. I mean, damn, Prime! You only left Lord Chumley in the Soviet Union, which is kind of famous for its human rights abuses. I mean, keep in mind, there's like a whole Wikipedia article about human rights abuses in the Soviet Union. I mean, I think Lord Chumley's gonna be lucky if he even makes it out alive. But other than that, I will say that Prime Target is a very good episode, and I highly recommend it. And I really like the concept of how a British big game hunter was basically able to do more work at defeating the Autobots than the entire Decepticons did. And heck, he did it in 2 days, whereas the Decepticons had only, like, few million years and they still couldn't get a crack at it. And I also like at the end where the Decepticons ultimately betray him just because they can and because it's kind of in their name. And overall, I will say that I really like this episode, and I even like how ridiculous the traps were. That was a nice touch. But I think with that, that's gonna do it for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.